everyone knows that exercising keeps the body healthy. Everyone knows that reading books gives you knowledge. And everyone also knows that using social media without any reason is just a waste of time. But still, why do some people not exercise? Why do some people still not read books? And why do some people still waste time on social media? The answer to this lies in a small hormone in our brain called dopamine. Whenever we do any activity, a set of hormones are released in our mind. One of them is dopamine. It is also called the pleasure hormone. That is, when it is released in our mind, we feel good. For example, when you are hungry and you eat something, your mind releases dopamine, which makes you feel good. But dopamine doesn't just make you feel good. It also creates the desire to repeat a certain action. In other words, it plays a major role in forming our habits. To learn more about dopamine, a team of scientists conducted an experiment on a rat. They placed a rat in a box and installed a lever inside that box. Whenever the rat pressed the lever, the scientists would inject dopamine into its mind. Because of this dopamine, the rat started pressing the lever repeatedly. It kept pressing the lever continuously without eating or drinking. Then, when the scientists stopped giving the rat dopamine after it pressed the lever, the rat became completely lethargic. Even though there was food and water in front of it, it didn't have enough strength or motivation left to get up and eat. When the scientists put food in its mouth, it would eat, but it didn't want to make the effort to reach the food itself. In other words, so much easy dopamine had made it so weak that it no longer had any desire left to do anything. Now, even though this experiment was a bit extreme, we can learn a lot about dopamine from it. Just like the scientists gave dopamine to the rat when it pulled the lever, people also get dopamine when they open social media apps. And when, after a while, they become addicted to social media, they lose the ability to do any other meaningful work. Dopamine itself is not bad. In fact, it is important for our survival, because if we didn't get dopamine from eating food, why would we try to eat or arrange food the next time? But the problem arises when we start getting dopamine very easily and in large quantities. This happens in the case of social media, television, movies, and junk food. These things cause a high amount of dopamine to be released in us very easily, which is definitely not good for us. And this is the reason why, even though many people know and understand, they still can't do meaningful things like exercising or reading books. Because exercising takes effort, you have to endure a bit of pain, sweat a little, and only then do you feel good after working out. It's the same case with books as well. You have to understand each and every word with full focus. Only then do you manage to finish such a thick book, and only then do you gain some knowledge and feel good about it. Dopamine is released, and when our brain compares exercising to using social media, it gets more attracted to social media. Because that's where easy dopamine is. You just have to sit and consume content, even though it knows that exercise is better for our future. It's the right choice for us, but still, because of the struggle involved in exercising, your brain doesn't motivate you to exercise. Along with this, social media apps like Facebook and Instagram hire specialized engineers who can make their apps even more addictive. Every time you click on a social media icon, when you like someone else's post, when someone likes your post, or someone reacts to your comment, dopamine is released in your mind. In today's modern times, every aspect of our society is filled with such harmful things that give us easy dopamine. Now you might be wondering, what's the problem with this easy and cheap dopamine after all? The biggest problem is that it doesn't give us any long-term benefit. For example, if you're eating junk food, you feel good for a little while because your mind is releasing dopamine. But after a little while, you'll feel guilty for eating unhealthy food. And in the long run, you could also face several health problems. On the other hand, if you exercise, you have to endure some temporary pain and struggle. But after that, you'll feel good all day because you controlled your mind and did what was right. Even though doing it was a bit difficult, this will give you good health in the long run. And at the same time, your sense of satisfaction and confidence will also increase. You are very active on social media, posting daily and chatting with your online friends. You compare your likes and comments with others, and this gives you pleasure. But you're not really going to benefit from it. Yes, maybe you'll make some new internet friends, but ask yourself, are those people really your friends? Will they actually be there for you in your difficult times? No, they won't. But bro, when you meet people in real life, you connect with them, get to know them, and share experiences with them. This way, you'll be able to build better connections with people. Your network will also grow, and these people will actually help you in your tough times. The lesson here is that things like social media, junk food, video games, and songs provide easy and cheap dopamine. It's very temporary and it doesn't improve our lives in any way. It just gives us a fake feeling, whereas the things that are truly meaningful might seem a bit difficult to do, but doing them gives us good results in the long run. Our overall happiness improves, and that's why we need to avoid this fake dopamine and focus on doing the things we actually need to do. Remember, no feeling, emotion or hormone is inherently bad. Rather, it's the source behind its release that can be good or bad. You work the whole month and only then do you get your salary, and when you receive your salary, you feel good. Your mind releases dopamine, which is why you stay motivated to work. But if you drink alcohol, your mind also releases dopamine, but that effect is temporary, and after a while, you feel bad because you lost control over yourself, and even knowing it was wrong for you, you still did it. So in this way, the same dopamine can be good or bad for us. The only difference lies in the source that triggers its release. So by now, you must have understood what dopamine is, what its function is, and how fake dopamine has hijacked people's minds. You must also have realized that you need to do things that not only give you temporary dopamine, but also brighten your future. So let's get to the main point. What is dopamine detox? How do you do it? And what are its benefits? Look, the simple meaning of dopamine detox is that you need to avoid, for a specific period of time, anything that causes your mind to release excessive dopamine. For example, you could decide that from 12 to 5 in the day, you won't use any social media apps, or that every Wednesday you'll fast and not eat anything. Now, this might seem a bit extreme to some people, but if you want big and fast results, you'll have to endure a little discomfort. In my opinion, during the dopamine detox period, you should stay away from music, movies, social media, food, parties, and so on. If you want, you can go for a walk, analyze your life, write down your thoughts with pen and paper, drink water, and do all the basic activities. Now, some of you might be wondering, what will this actually achieve? What is the benefit of this? See, when you stay away from social media, junk food, funny videos, songs, and movies, you are going to feel really bored. And it's this boredom that will build your mental tolerance and strength. As a result, the tasks that used to seem boring and difficult to you will now start to feel easy and exciting. For example, if you regularly eat at a 5-star hotel, that food will start to feel normal to you. And if someone suggests you eat plain dal and rice, you'll flatly refuse because it will seem boring and tasteless to you, because your mind has gotten used to eating 5-star food. Now imagine you get stranded on an island where there's nothing to eat for miles around. Even water is scarce. In such a situation, if someone gives you just a bowl of dal and rice, it will feel even better than royal paneer to you. At that time, it won't seem boring at all. In fact, it will taste absolutely delicious. Why? Because after being hungry for so long, your mind has normalized the stage of not eating anything, and in such a situation, even the simplest food will taste good to you. In the same way, when you remove all easily accessible dopamine-inducing habits from your life for a while, then even when you do low dopamine activities, like reading a book, talking to a stranger, doing your office work, exercising, or going for a walk outside, you'll start enjoying these things too, because after being bored for quite some time, your mind has now reset. You can also call dopamine detox a kind of mind reset, where you bore your mind so much, deprive it of dopamine to such an extent that it starts doing even difficult tasks with ease. But remember one thing, you will have to remove habits that give you easy access to dopamine on a regular basis. It's not like you just did a dopamine detox for one day and then fell back into that bad habit again. Discipline is the most important thing, so keep detoxing habits from your life that regularly release easily accessible dopamine. Many well-known people do dopamine detoxes, and they share how dopamine detoxing has changed their lives. I hope that through this video, I can change your lives as well. If you have any questions, be sure to let me know in the comment box. If you found the video useful, please like, share, and subscribe. I keep making videos like this on personality development, life lessons, and book summaries. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching.